God, welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for tuning in for today's tutorial. I hope you are doing good today. Please, if you haven't subscribed, just go ahead to click the subscribe button and join the family. Give this video a thumbs up, like a big thumbs up, and then leave a comment in the comment section below. This is a very detailed sew-in tutorial. I would advise you to watch this video from beginning to the end so that you don't get to miss any step. We'll continue corn rolling using the same method, adding the previous corn row or the previous tip to the next corn row, connecting all the tips of the hair to each other. And add up the last two tips of the corn row to the last corn row and then use needle and thread to just hide the last tip of the corn row. So this is what it should look like after corn rolling. This is what a human hair web look like. They are neatly sewn to each other. For this particular company, like I said before, this hair is from Ishow hair. Because of the doubled webs, it's always difficult to kind of do the turnover method using a human hair. So today I'm just going to be showing you guys how to do the turnover method using a human hair, like sew in from scratch. This is the needle I usually use. I'm so comfortable using this needle. This is the thread I always use. It's a black thread, so any black thread will also do. First, you just want to fold the thread into two and then pass it through the needle like so, and then bring it out from the other side of the needle, making it like 4 strands of thread. After passing the thread through the needle and measuring it down to the tip, you just want to like go ahead to tie the knot of the tip so that when you are sewing in, it won't get to like loosen. Then we just use the scissors to cut off the excess thread. Okay, for the first stitching of the weave, just push the needle through the weft of the hair first before taking it to the corn row, and then push it through the corn row and bring it out from the other part of the corn row, and then drag the needle and thread out. You will have to run the needle and thread more than once just so that you secure that part of the weave. That's when you are starting up, so that it will hold firm. Dragging the needle out, it tends to like form a loop. Just take the between the opening of the loop like twice, pass it through it twice, and then drag it out to tie the knot so that the hair will be firm. Let's do it again. Just push the needle and the thread through both the weft of the hair and the corn row, and then bring it out from the other part of the corn row to actually form a loop. Then pass the needle through that loop like twice so that it will kind of tie the knot. When you are dragging the thread out, use your hands to push both the needle and the corn row so that the knot will be tied firm. I had to do this twice or 3 more times so that you get a better understanding. Okay, we'll continue sewing this way until I get to the end of this line. When I get to the end of the line, we kind of take the weft further, a little bit further, and then stitch it more than once before flipping it or turning it over to the next line. Once I turn to the next line, we'll still go ahead to push the needle through the weft of the hair and the corn row, bringing it out from the other part of the corn row. Instead of just dragging it once, we'll just go ahead to like roll the thread round the needle twice before dragging it or pushing it outward completely. I really like you to pay attention to this video carefully if you want to learn something out of this, because sometimes it's kind of difficult to explain hairstyling. The best way to be able to understand is just to pay attention to every detail while you watch. Once the weave is being turned over to the next line, since it's the human hair which is double weft, you will still need to push the needle from upwards to downwards or from up to down, and then when you are dragging it, you drag it upward. That part will be laid flat. Okay, you can only do this method while doing the turnover method on a human hair so that that part will actually be flat. It will be laid flat. Allow you guys to see for yourself and understand for yourself. So just watch this video very carefully. get to the end of a particular thread, you just have to use the scissors to cut off the needle first, and then use the thread and tie a knot like twice or 3 times before you completely cut off the remaining part of the thread. Then you continue with another set of needle and thread, just sewing in the same way or the same pattern. Okay, we'll continue sewing in the same way until I get to the front. When I get to the front, we'll show you guys the other way to actually achieve the turnover method. It's so similar to this. After sewing in the first 3 lines, for you to start sewing in the 4th line, you will have to take the 3rd line further to the front, that's to the first corn roll in front of our head, and then you flip it over to the next line, doing the turnover method, and then continue sewing, making it the 4th line. Now that I am at the front part of our head, I'm just taking the weft of the hair from the right side to the left side of our head, because we are doing the invisible closing without a closure or a frontal. After taking the weft from the right side, we just continue to sew till I get to the left side of our head. Okay, since I have more space on the left side than the right side, we'll just continue adding more hairs or more weave-ons to the left side of our head. And to add more hairs to the left side of the hair, we'll just continue sewing. When I get to the parting side, that's the parting line, we just flip the hair backwards and continue sewing backwards. Instead of taking it further to the right side of the head, I'm just going to sew it backwards. This is so that that part won't be scanty, because if I continue sewing in, like I take it from the left side to the right side, there will be more hairs, or the right side will be more fuller than the left side. Hope you get what I mean. You can do this pattern or method like twice or 3 times, so that particular part won't be scanty. Hope you get it. Okay, now that the both sides are getting pretty close to each other, we'll just start doing the round closing method. But this is not the final closing. We just start taking the hair round and round. That's the weave itself. I'm taking it round and sewing it as I go. Now at this part, or on this part, to add more weaves or hairs to the front, I'm just doubling the wefts first in front of our head, just so that the front part will also not be scanty, to be full enough before I continue sewing in. We'll do this like either twice or 3 times, so that the front part will also be full before I continue doing the round closing method. So we continue sewing the hair round and round just to finish up the closing and space on our head. And as a stylist, while doing the round closing method, you have to be patient while sewing it in, just sewing it round and round so that you don't jump any space. Jumping a space will not give you a good result, but carefully sewing each weft very close to each other will give you a very good result. So like I said before, while doing the round closing method, do not overspace the weave, so that there won't be any space when you try to pattern the hair on that particular part where you want the pattern to be. Okay, after sewing in, you just open up the hair, that's the parting, using a tail comb to do so, or your hands. You can actually use your hands to like open it up, or use a tail comb to do so, to pattern it. And while patterning it using a tail comb, you are also kind of brushing it so that the hair you'll be able to tell if the pattern is okay for the client or not. Brush it a little bit, and then if it's a coily hair, you don't really need to brush it so much, but if it's a straight hair, you can brush it very well so that you can be able to tell if the pattern is good enough for your clients. Once that is done, you just take the needle and thread to sew that part like so. Just watch carefully to understand what I'm doing. After after that, this is what the hair should look like. You just go ahead to spray with water. Just spray the hair because it's human hair and it's a coily hair, so you spray it with water. I won't be able to apply anything for now. I'm not applying any cream, hair cream for now, so I'm just basically arranging the hair like so. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video to the end. This is the final look. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it's helpful. Hope you're able to learn something from this video or from this tutorial. Please, if you did, do not forget to give this video a big thumbs up. Share to friends and family. Share it to friends and family, and leave a comment in the comment section to tell me what you think about this hair.